10 years ago, the NBA was clearly dominated by American superstars. LeBron James was the face of the league. Kevin Durant was unstoppable. Stephen Curry was changing the game with his shooting. The spotlight was firmly in the United States. But today, something feels different. The best player in the league is Serbian. One of the most dominant forces is Greek. A generational playmaker is Slovenian. And the most hyped young prospect in years is French. So we have to ask the question, is Europe taking over the NBA? Nikola Jokić, a second-round pick from Serbia, is now a multiple-time MVP and NBA champion. He doesn't dominate with explosive athleticism. He doesn't rely on speed. He doesn't overwhelm defenders with power. Instead, he controls the game with vision, patience, and intelligence. He reads double teams before they arrive. He manipulates defenses with subtle movements. He turns every possession into a calculated decision. He plays basketball like a chess grandmaster. And he's not alone. Giannis Antetokounmpo, born in Greece, entered the league as a skinny teenager with raw potential. He was considered UNPOLISHED. And finished a long-term project. But through development and discipline, he transformed into one of the most physically dominant players the NBA has ever seen. An MVP, a Finals MVP, a champion. His journey represents something powerful to international development working at the highest level. Then there's Luka Dončić. Before stepping into the NBA, he was already a champion and MVP in Europe's toughest professional league. He didn't need years of adjustment. He arrived ready. His pace, his confidence, his creativity, they didn't look like a rookies. They looked like a veterans. And now, he is one of the most skilled offensive players in the world. Because one thing is certain. Game is changing. And Europe is at the center of that change. And the next wave is already here. Victor Wembanyama from France. 7-foot- for guard skills. Elite defensive instincts. He represents the future. A blend of European fundamentals and modern versatility. This isn't random. This is a pattern. So what changed? Why are so many of the league's elite players coming from Europe? The answer may lie in development systems. In Europe, young players grow up in professional club systems. They are taught team basketball from an early age. Spacing, ball movement. Decision-making. Defensive rotations. They don't grow up playing isolation-heavy, highlight-focused basketball. They grow up learning structure. And structure builds basketball IQ. In many European systems, players compete against grown professionals as teenagers. They must adapt quickly. They must think faster. They must survive physically and mentally. That environment accelerates maturity. By the time players like Doncic enter the NBA, they've already faced elite competition. They've already played under pressure. They're not overwhelmed. They're prepared. But let's be clear, the NBA is still largely American. The majority of players are from the United States. American college programs still produce incredible talent. Superstars like Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, and Stephen Curry continue to define the league. So this isn't about Europe replacing America. It's about evolution. The modern NBA rewards skill more than ever before. It rewards spacing, versatility, playmaking from every position, and European development has quietly mastered that formula. The league is no longer dominated by one archetype. It's shaped by adaptability, and European players have shown exceptional adaptability. Maybe this isn't a takeover. Maybe it's something bigger. Maybe it's globalization finally reaching its peak in basketball. The NBA is no longer just America's league. It's the world's league. And Europe has become one of its strongest pipelines of talent. The real question isn't who owns the NBA. The real question is, who is shaping its future? Right now, many of the smartest, most skilled, and most versatile players in the league were trained in Europe. And that might not be a coincidence. So tell me, is Europe taking over the NBA? Or are we simply witnessing the most competitive era in basketball history? Because one thing is certain, the game is changing. And Europe is at the center of that change.